A very good evening, esteemed scholars and future leaders of science. This is Tuba Khan, a student of Aligarh Muslim University and a member of QM Study Circle. It is with great excitement and honor that I welcome you to Synergy 2025, a truly unique opportunity to broaden your academic horizons and explore the vast world of global scientific research. We are thrilled to have you here as this event promises to open new doors and offer insights into the future of scientific exploration. To begin with, we have Mr. Sarim Mustafa Khan, the convener of QM Study Circle, who will open the evening with his thoughts and insights on what makes this gathering so special. Over to you, Mr. Sarim.
Thank you so much, Tuba. Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and a very good evening. First of all, welcome everybody, and thank you so much for giving your time for this session. Every session that QM Study Circle tries to put forward is nothing without you people turning up for it and seeking to learn more from it. And today is indeed another special session in that line where we have two distinguished scholars and professionals now for Sir Najib sir that have excelled enormously in their career prospect, and especially in sciences. And I believe, because I am also a student of social sciences, and I believe what happens when we are looking forward to study, to get into higher education, and especially looking forward to study abroad, it is always a situation that we don't know where to start with. And I think today is the right spot where students who have joined us, I think you might be in your bachelor's and master's, and some people might be our seniors in PhD, but they're still looking forward to get into the premier institutions around the world, around the globe. And indeed, today we have Miss Saufishan Akbar. She is a PhD scholar in Chemical and Petroleum Engineering. Indeed, a very interesting and very escalating field in itself at the University of Kansas. And she has been a student of AMU as well. So obviously that is very intrigued and very much rooted in the heart of any league, that even after going abroad and achieving so much, they come back to give time and guidance to the fellow leagues, to the juniors itself. And that is one legacy that has been carried forward, that keeps AMU true to its meaning for what Aligarh Muslim University stands. And I welcome heartfully Ms. Saufishan Akbar. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your time for this session. And indeed, we are looking forward to learn more and more about what are the prospects in sciences, what are the global scenario in terms of exploring education forward. And just before giving it the floor to Saufishan Akbar, ma'am, I will just mention about Dr. Najib K. Sir. Sir has been a scientist at NASA, and he has been an assistant professor at the Department of Physics at the University of Sharjah, the American University of Sharjah. And he will be joining us later on for the second session, navigating us more about how he has transitioned not just from being a student of AMU to being a student of physics abroad at a prime institution, and later on making it big to NASA itself and being a scientist over there. And it is indeed going to be a very learning experience for us. So without wasting more time, let's just look forward to learn more and more from these two amazing scholars and indeed people. I think I would just give it the floor to Tuba to introduce Saufishan ma'am further, and then we can proceed further. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. The Synergy 2025 program is designed to be a platform where brilliant minds come together to share ideas, discuss global research trends, and foster meaningful collaborations that will drive the future of science. We We invite you to step outside the classroom and delve into the dynamic world of scientific discovery. Let's make this journey together one that will shape the future of scientific research. Our very first session will delve into exploring global pathways in engineering education, unlocking opportunities for research and advanced studies, led by Ms. Saufishan Akbar, a PhD scholar at the University of Kansas, USA. Her experience will guide us through the transformative landscape of engineering education. Over to you, ma'am.
Well, thank you, Summer, for the introduction. Assalamu alaikum all. I hope you all are doing well. So
Alaikum assalam.
here it's like 7:45 a.m. morning, and I got to run to the lab as soon as I finish this. So I'll be quick. I think I'll get to the point straight, like how I applied here and how was my journey. So during my masters, I got into this scholarship, SASE Global Scholarship. That's how I begin my journey to US. The one thing I would say, if you are a postgraduate student, I would say focus on your research and try to publish at least one paper so that you will get a better start to apply for higher education. Other than that, if you're someone who is looking to apply to a country like US, I would say here the requirements are kind of different from other countries like other European countries. For example, uh, a master's student at least should have a 3.2 above CPI, which is like when you convert that into Indian grading scale, which it will be around above 80 percentage. Um, and for masters, getting above 80 is kind of, I'm not saying it's hard, but it is like we have to focus on your coursework and also on your research at the same time, and you have to put a little more effort on both these uh, on both these at the same time. And that's what I pretty much kind of figured if you are a master student. And if you're a bachelor student, I would say getting into a PhD after bachelor's from engineering, I'm talking about, that is also like applicable here. You don't need masters. If you have a bachelor's degree, also there is a thing like direct PhD. I think uh, it's all over in India also. A kind of direct PhD is there. So if you are someone who is in engineering and you have a degree from any streams, then you can apply for PhD without even masters also. Other than that, I would say how I selected my universities is like based on my research interest. That was the first priority. I kind of I remember I kind of made an Excel sheet of around 50 universities initially based on my research interest. And then I sorted out into 10 universities because you won't be able to apply to all 50 universities, right? Because for each universities, you might have to pay an application fees of around $80. So that's why you have to be very careful if you are applying to universities because you should be aware of about the success rate of the applications and also about the project funding. Let's say if I'm looking to apply to a university in Texas. So if I Google it, University of Texas, I'll get the deadline to apply for the PhD uh, for that university. But for me, it's like I need to know about my department. So you have to go to your own department website and look into the deadline. And also for especially for international students, the deadline will be different because always for international students, it will be like uh, at least 15 days prior to the actual deadline. That is how things work for international students. And especially for international students, I would say fall is the best session to apply for, because for spring and summer, they don't really have enough funding uh, to accept international students. But for fall session, here US universities have a lot of funding. So for international students, you will get more opportunities during that time. Other than that, the requirements will be like, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am,
Yes,
you are
ma'am.
still.
Okay, sure. Other than that, other requirement will be like your IELTS score should be above 7. Um, some universities do accept 6.5, but maybe you will not get funding for that. So that is one thing you have to be very careful about. And I think 3 or 4 years back, most of the US universities require GRE, but nowadays they don't need GRE, which is like, I think it's fair enough, because GRE requires a lot of time for the preparation, because um, it is tough. It is way too tough than IELTS. IELTS is like, it needs only 2 years, sorry, 2 weeks of preparation to crack the IELTS. Um, so the first thing would be like, uh, for master students, try to submit your dissertation on time, so that you will get enough time to do your publication, because publication takes time, and you have to be very careful about your application deadlines, because once you cross the deadline, then it's like you have to wait for another year, or like for 6 months. So like I said, uh, follow up your deadlines very carefully. Then then the next thing would be like, you should have a formatted CV and an SOP. What I kind of figured is that for each countries, the format of CV and SOP is different. So the format to the US will be different from other European countries. Uh,
Not audible.
Sorry,
Audible.
not audible.
Yeah, audible.
Audible, ma'am.
Okay. So the CV and SOP format should formatted to the country, according to the country that you are applying for. Um, I think that's pretty much, you have to be careful about the application procedure. Like I said, your CPI should be 3.2 above, and you should have at least one publication from your master's. And the third thing would be a formatted CV and SOP, and of course, IELTS score. Uh, I think these all five is good enough to apply to a university in US. And that's that's all I have to say. And now you can ask me questions. Feel free to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
So there is no question.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes, I'm out.
Hello, ma'am. What
Hello.
will be the requirements for a bachelor student to get an admission abroad?
Uh, so for bachelor student, if you are from engineering, I think your final year project, you should know what you have done as a researcher. Uh, and if you have a paper, a published paper from that, that would be good enough, because for other countries, I'm not
What is
hyping
difference
about
between
US
UG and PG?
universities. Okay, you are in PG. So you should have at least, I mean, to get a better successful rate for your application, I would say you should have at least one publication if you're looking to US. I think for other European countries, their requirements are not this much complicated, I guess. Here, if you are a master's student, you will get चल रहा है कि
एक को आ रही है
okay.
You already talked about publication, right? One publication.
Yes.
Yeah, I already have a publication in ISBN book, but it's not. It's a different title.
Sorry.
I already have my publication in ISBN in a different title. So
आदिल भाई when going to Kashmir
will that enough for that application procedure for the university?
Yes, I think if your research is good enough to the university that you are applying for, they will accept it. Like I said, you are the research background that you have, and the university's research. I mean, in your department aspects, that should be kind of somewhat matching, so that they can accept you.
No, I didn't enroll to any university. Currently I'm a postgraduate only. We had a paper presentation in university. So yeah, I had published that article for the publication.
So it's like it is already accepted.
Yeah.
It, you can mention that on your CV, and I think could you could you please type that on the chat box? Actually, I'm not able to understand your question.
Hello, ma'am. I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Ma'am, I am pursuing my second year graduation, and if I want to pursue and from masters there, what are the
Mhm.
eligibility concerns to be there?
So like I said, you should have at least one publication from your research, from your master's research, and then you should have about 3.2 CPI, which is like above 80 percentage when you convert that into Indian grading scale. And
Okay.
then your IELTS score should be above 7 or 7
Would there
above.
be interview also, ma'am?
Yes, it's like once you get your acceptance offer letter, then some professors, they might contact you for interview. I think I
Mm-hmm.
applied to 10 universities, and the probability of getting into a US university is like out of 10, it's like 2 or 3. That's what my experience. So you will get admission maybe, but without funding. But we need funding, right? So uh, with funding, the probability is like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And among that, I got interview call from 2. Uh, After getting the admission only, they interviewed.
Okay.
So yes, some professors um, recommend for interviews.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt,
Yep.
but I would ask everybody to mention their questions in the chat box.
Yeah,
It would
sure.
be better. So,
Yeah,
any
I see
questions?
one question. Sorry.
No, ma'am. Please continue.
Okay, so there is one question. There is one question I can see that explain more about the university sorting process, how to find and filter them out. So, like I said, I selected university based on my research interest. My research interests were into sustainability, energy, and also I kind of figured the university by googling it only. I kind of figured which universities are having uh, this topics, and then among 50 universities, I screened 10 based on the project and funding. I think that is the best way to sort the university process because uh, if you if you don't have enough funding or the project, then that's going to be a problem. So you have to be very careful about those things. You can find it on your department website itself for each universities what all are the projects they are having and what all the projects will be in the future with funding. And once you sometimes, like I said, you might have interviews, so you can clearly mention about the funding. Here people, they don't judge you if you ask questions, so you can easily ask about all your concerns. And also you can email them on your department website. Also you will see the graduate program coordinators email id, so you can easily contact them and ask about the concerns that you are having. And I see another question I had.
And what is the expected funding for to get there?
Sorry. Come again. Okay. I think the answer to Hasna would be yes, it is accepted because you can mention that, um, you can mention the paper details, and in brackets you can mention it is under review. That is also kind of acceptable uh, in a way. I'm not saying it is totally acceptable, but you can at least mention it is under review. I hope that I answered Hasna's question. Okay. Saving for application process is like I said, it is like for each universities, it kind of varies. Um some universities might have a different fees for international students. Mostly, um, it is like from 80 to $120 for each university. That will be around, I think, 7K or 7K to 9 or 10K. For nursing student, um, I see a question from nursing student. Quite uh, I'm not in a spot to answer that since I'm not from that field. Okay, I see Abdullah's question. Um, so, like I said, here the CPI requirement is 3.2 above, which is like, as far as I know, if you convert that it into Indian grading scale, it will be above 80, I guess. But you can recheck that if your CPI is good enough to go with that, then there is no problem. Uh, some universities they do accept above 3 also, so maybe this 7 CPA will work over there. You don't need to worry about your bachelor CPA as far as I know. I think your masters, your recent degree, that is what you should be concerned about, not your bachelor's, I guess. um, I'm talking about if, like, I think Abdullah is currently pursuing MTech, so I think you should be concerned about your master CPI only, not about your BTech. get it. So I see the question, what the result percentage for getting job. Getting job in US is, I don't think that that is something I can answer, because I never tried to get a job, and I don't think getting a job visa
Ma'am,
country
actually,
like
I
US
have a
is kind of
question.
hard. Uh,
So, I'm
Sorry.
currently pursuing bachelor's degree in history. I
Okay.
just want to do master's in foreign university. So, what is the procedure? Like in a nutshell.
Uh, for history, I think the basic. I really don't know about other departments. I know only the requirements for engineering actually, but I do know there are some basic criteria which is common for each. I mean, for every department, like I said about the CPI requirement, which is should be 3.2 above, and the uh, publication. I, I mean, you said you need to pursue masters. So I think for masters for history, I don't think they require a publication. Uh, but if you have one publication from your bachelor's, that would be great. Then the IL score. That's all. Uh, if you apply to 3 universities, I see a question from Mohammed Adil, uh, that to apply in 3 universities, can you please tell the expected funding that is needed? To apply to 3 universities, like I said, it varies based on the university. Your expected funding would be based on the project that you will be getting, and based on your department that you are applying for. So in my school, University of Kansas, they have the funding that I'm getting will not be the same for other departments. Like for chemical engineering, it might be a different funding, and for computer science, it will be a different. It is totally based on the department and also the project that they are having currently. I see another question. What helped you figure out which specific area you were most interested in? And I'm trying to understand whether I would enjoy research and how to identify the topics that truly excite me. Uh, yeah, for that, to Abdul Kadir, I think the answer would be once you start your. I don't know which class are you right now, maybe masters or something. So, uh, if you're a master's student, once you start your research, your dissertation, and you you will see yourself as a researcher uh, before your final defense, I would say. And you will start exploring new areas, and that's when you kind of figure, okay, maybe I should pursue this and all. Mohammed Modesir, one research paper is compulsory for applying PhD.
सुहेल भाई
Like I said,
दुबई में बिजनेस कैसे
sorry,
चलती है आपकी?
sorry.
Someone muted you.
Uh, oh,
Someone muted you.
Okay.
the answer
Thank,
to Mohammed
thank you so much.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an enlightening session.